In a gross violation of protocol and clearly an insult, former President APJ Abdul Kalam was frisked and treated as a commoner at the Indira Gandhi International Airport by ground security staff of Continental Airlines. Adding insult to injury, Kalam was forced to wait on the aerobridge of the Newark-bound flight as the airline security officials debated among themselves whether to put him under the security scanner or not. Kalam had to surrender before the security staff like a commoner for a complete body check and remove his footwear in the process. The incident came as violation of guidelines given to airlines which exempt VIPs like presidents and former presidents from security checks, let alone frisking. Now, the incident occurred a few days ago while the former president was on his way to Newark on Continental Airlines flight CO083. Meanwhile, a spokesperson for Continental Airlines justified the incident, saying even VIPs like former presidents are not exempt from stringent security checks, as that is the airline's policy.
He was not exempted. In fact, he had to go through this entire security check because that is the process which Continental Airlines follow across the world. In fact, there are no special rules for VIPs or VVIPs as such. In fact, this is the process and this is what they have to adhere to across the world. Is a normal security process. And in fact, Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam was very cooperative. He happily underwent the entire process. This thing happened, I think, a month ago.
Well, I have just been informed a few minutes back about something like this. So I can only say that whatever is needed to correct and whatever is needed to, I would say, in any way, if anybody is found wrong, I will ask for corrective action. We will ask the concerned people to tender an apology.
So is Mr. Ratan Tata likely to head the advisory board?
Well, I would only like to discuss names whether of the independent board of directors or the international advisory board after I run the names with the Prime Minister.
And for more, let me go across live to Shikha, who joins us from the capital. Shikha, clearly in this case, airline policy clashing with Civil Aviation Ministry guidelines. What's the next step that the ministry is expected to take now?
Well, Niharika, since this news broke, we have been trying to get in touch with the Civil Aviation Ministry, and what sources are now telling us is that the excuse that the airlines is giving, that they have their independent security policy, cannot be followed here. There is a protocol to be followed, and that is why these airlines are allowed to operate anywhere in the world. When you go to, if you're operating from a certain country, you have to follow the rule of the land. And here in India, it's a given that VVIPs like Abdul Kalam, a former president of India, cannot be frisked. Now, if that is there, the Civil Aviation Ministry sources tell us that the strictest possible action will be taken if the airline continues to say that they have done nothing wrong. In fact, if you talk about extreme action, even a suspension of license, given the fact that they're not following the rule of the land, can take place. But that is, of course, if the airline continues to remain stubborn and, of course, not render an apology to an eminent Indian citizen like Abdul Kalam. Niharika.
All right, Shikha, thanks very much for joining us with that. We also have a reaction coming in from DG for the CISF, Udayan Banerjee, who's shifted the onus onto the airline, claiming that only the first level of the former president's security rests with the CISF.
This checking was exempted from our security point of view. What is being reported has happened as secondary ladder checkpoint function of the airlines. For this instant, it is Continental Airways. It is done except the airline security. The ladder point checking is an airline security function, not ASG security function.